Hey, welcome back. Here with Gigster and the Pooch. Of course, the Pooch is Professor Pooch, David J. Spangenberg, and
Ah,
I'm the Gigster, sometimes called the Alpha Gigster, Ryan Michael Galloway. Sorry for sending you all those different names, but anyway, so Pooch and Gigster, that's
welcome.
it. We'll get it boiled down here. So, anyway, so Pooch, we were talking a little while back about the industry and all the, everything's like turned upside down. And one of the things is that the record businesses can't make money the way they used to, which was by selling CDs or records. And so they want a piece of everything to probably get their hands on. I remember back when you and I were a lot younger. Was it back in 74 or 75? I can't remember.
I am only 90.
Well, I remember a group called Kiss, and one of the things that Kiss did, they were one of the first groups that had, like action figures, and I think they might have had comic books and all this other merch that they could sell. And because they really were like superhero characters, the comic book characters, and they really thought it through and really exploited their own
Their
product.
business.
Well, now, if I sign with a record company and I want to sell pics with my name on it or pictures of myself that are autographed or something like that, I don't necessarily get to keep all that stuff. What's going on? Tell us about that.
Well, not anymore, because the labels are really going to what is known as the 360 deal. I mean, they used to just make their money from selling records. And since records basically don't sell anymore, and, matter of fact, even vinyl went down a little bit. Vinyl was the only thing going up, actually, for a while.
Because they had a resurgence.
And the young kids,
Yeah.
vinyl. It's amazing. And rock and roll, they're still putting out special issues, but we'll get to that some other time. What's happening is they're doing these 360 deals. The labels want a piece of everything, that not just your records, your performing money, which is, excuse me, hairballs, publishing, merchandising, what the artist makes, the record company wants a piece of. Different things. There's ways around it. That's why you see somebody like me or an entertainment attorney to get around some of that, and we can help a little bit of but the important part is just to understand the situation. And I mean, and it's what's really the weird part about the whole thing is they've taken on these different ways of making money while they're laying off people. So they're not even doing half the work that they used to do. I mean, artist development, what's that? Record companies would sign an artist and work with them. No, it doesn't work that way anymore. They just, matter of fact, there's some weird stuff going on. Really, instead of, it used to be about the artist and the material. Then it was about, the story. That's the big thing, the image and the story about people, and what kind of story can we get. But the point is they're putting all this extra work with the branding and getting deals and stuff on the manager because the record company doesn't have the people there, the staff, to do all this stuff anymore. So they rely on the managers.
Yeah.
And
Well,
let's discuss the managers in another segment. We must discuss what the managers are doing nowadays and what they're expected to do nowadays by the labels.
I'll tell you what, that's a niche that I've been working within is artist development. In that, a friend of mine called it formative management, which I think is a really great term for it. Frankly, I am not about staying. Well, everything need me, I suppose, but I'm not really. My goal is not to stay with an artist for 5 or 6 years and make, basically extract every dime I can out of my relationship with them. My objective is to work with them to start running things themselves. Here's an example, for instance. I could not only be a manager or a formative manager, I could be a formative producer. I can go in to a studio or even help somebody in their home studio to figure out how to develop their sound, figure out how to record themselves efficiently. And if we do 1 or 2 songs, I back off and they can take over and they don't have to keep paying me. Or, you get out there and you help somebody get their stage act together, their stage presence together, their stage craft, and a little bit about the drama and management of timing and stuff like that. And after that, you can back off if you want. Now, if somebody needs you around, if somebody needs you as a legal advisor around all the time, you're not going to turn it down. But to continue to have the goal to extract every dime out of the artist is I think a little bit old think.
But I bet you and I both turn down people for reasons. I mean, there's reasons to turn people down. If
Just
you're not serious, if you're going to be just a jerk and you're not going to do your job as the artist, because the artist is expected to do a lot more than they used to, we can. The fans don't want to talk to us. They want to talk to the artist.
Well, another thing is that we can do, if we're not careful, is we can be really vicious enablers in a very bad way. And I'll give you an example. I would never tell an artist that they're not going to make it. Not the Simon Cowell capitalism.
Not either.
It's not. It's not my judgment call to tell them whether or not they've got a product they can sell or not. It's my job to help them reach the audience that they might have and reach it with the best form or the form that they want. But every once in a while, you run into something that is just really, really a hopeless case. You run into somebody who's, let's say, 80 or something like that, and not that they couldn't perform or do a good job, but they're trying to create a product for a market that doesn't exist because they're thinking 40 years back, or they're trying to, do something completely that would require learning so much about retailing and marketing and performing and that kind of thing, and all they've got is go ahead.
We'd have to at least tell them about that stuff and say, it's a matter of integrity, and I know
exactly.
do it. Is to say, look, this is the situation. If you want to keep doing it, I'll play the manager's job, and I'll bring out the strengths and try to cover up the weaknesses, but I'm not God.
No, exactly. And sometimes you just have to tell somebody the way it is, and maybe it's simply go back and practice more, go back and develop a little more, go do this, and leave me alone for a little while and go get your thing developed a little bit more. Or you're at a stage where you got so much to learn, and all you have is time, and not very much of that, because these other things aren't developed, and you don't even have money to produce what you got to do. I think we need to walk away from this project, or at least I do. I know I'm being a little bit ambiguous here, but I just recently had somebody approach me who wanted to produce an album entirely on spec with the belief that they could go out and market this thing to the world, and they were so far out of the loop that I couldn't put my reputation on the line.
Everybody has to understand that time is money. And, I mean, like I tell people, pooches have to eat too, and, I mean, that's ridiculous. The great phrase I love is people say, well, can't you do it in your spare time? Folks, there is no such thing as spare time.
Not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. Absolutely right. Well, we've rambled a little bit. We don't do that very often, but I think we've covered some good points, Pooch. Let's wrap it and come back and do some more. How about that? And remember, the mystique should be in the music.
Not the business. I'm the Pooch.
And I'm the Gigster, and we'll be back.
Bye-bye.